Bang.
Bang, now our beer is warm.
Oh no. Well, this heat's everywhere.
Well, it's cold down here.
Well, let's not make it cold down here anymore. Let's get started.
Okay, you talk, I drink.
Okay, I talk, we drink. We drink. Okay, so this week we have Drop Bear. Drop Bear. Ooh. I don't know why it's called Drop Bear. They said something about it being Australian reference. Brewed with Australian Galaxian summer hops.
So we're thinking of you, V.
Are we thinking of him, V? And who's very much?
Varen.
So loaded with peach, melon, and orange fun dip hop flavors. I don't know what any of those things mean, but this beer is really goddamn good, and I'm really happy to have bought a bunch of it.
And we have new glasses.
Well, I got new glasses, yes. So we're not as fancy pantsy with our stupid glasses. We're just gonna be drinking out of regular beer glasses, but still from Dominion, still from Dominion City. Oh, this is not good. It's not a
Foamy?
good pour. Again, I fucked up on the pour.
Came out foamy again?
It's like I don't know how to pour beer.
It's the new glasses. My dumpster fire beer was foamy too at the beginning.
Bang. Still says makers of good beer, and I do like the foam. Lots of foaminess. Yeah, Drop Bear. This is not a paid advertisement, by the way. I just like beer.
Mm-hmm.
I wish more people like good beer.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta figure out the stand thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go buy the same stand you have. Right now I'm using a mic stand within a mic stand. It's mic stand inception. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's just enjoy our beer. And as promised, I think this podcast is going to be all about porn.
Well, I used to listen to a lot of Loveline back in the day with Dr. Drew and Psycho Mike. And at least once a night, someone would call in about their boyfriend watching too much porn or getting jealous about their boyfriend watching porn. And Dr. Drew and Psycho Mike laughing at these women, and they're like, porn is different. Stop being paranoid. You should be worried if he's not watching porn. Call us. That was like their message to women. If your boyfriends are not interested in porn, you should be worried. That's when you should be calling us. And now I'm trying to like actually look at some of like the studies that have health benefits of, or just kind of like how porn can be healthy. And I know they're out there because I've seen them before. But when I search pornography, here's what comes up. Getting off, pornography and the end of masculinity. Feminism and pornography. Mediated sex pornography and postmodern culture. The other Victorian study of... Oh, no, that one's boring. Pornography aids in the media. The pornography of death. Really curious as to what that one could be about.
I don't think that has to do with pornography so much as it has to do with porn. Not porn. Gore. You know, some people are just obsessed with looking at death.
Well, it's from 1955, so...
I guess they knew all about it back then.
Pornography, civil rights, and speech. But, pornography and rape. Pornography and silence. Culture's revenge against nature.
Sure. Why not? Nature's obviously the problem here.
Making violence sexy. Feminist view on pornography. All the good stuff. Just all the good stuff.
Well, okay. A lot of that doesn't resonate with me, although a lot of it does.
How do you feel that most of the research that is coming up, that has been done on porn, is looking at it from feminist and postmodern and civil rights perspectives, because that's
I am 100% not surprised. Why would anyone else look at porn and try and find things wrong with it if it wasn't from a feminist perspective or a postmodern perspective or some other weird perspective? As I keep talking about this, the feminists used to be very, very, what do you call it, sex positive? But then sex positivity wasn't enough for them, was it? They needed to make everyone sex positive, and then they started to shame people for their sex positivity. Which is why they're going for the men right now. What was that latest article that really triggered the shit out of me? Psychic rape, I think is what they were insinuating. The psychic rape phenomenon, where if you watch porn, then you inherently know that that woman would never have had a thing to do with you, and therefore you're actually psychically raping her, making they even cited something along the lines of draining her energy and disrupting her fields. So not only is that a feminist perspective, but also a perspective of a feminist perspective from the point of New Age spiritualism, which is weird in itself, but I'll give it to them. Clearly, New Age spiritualism needs more feminists inside of it. It's bad enough. It's not enough that they've decided to start cooking with menstrual blood or performing satanic rituals to get rid of Trump. They just need regular men to also know that when they watch porn, they're psychically raping people, because all men are inherently rapists at all times.
Well, I mean, I tried to just search pornography benefits, and the first article that came out is a feminist defense of pornography. So, I mean, at least... pornography
what year is that from?
And morality, for fuck's sake.
Wait. You can see... What year was the defense of pornography from?
If pornography is the theory, is inequality the practice?
Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, I keep citing this point because when I was at York U, they made us go over this little fun exercise where they exposed to us an article or at least some new laws that the feminists have started to instill in Canada. And the thing they demanded, or not demanded, the thing they suggested was that pornography that primarily involves males who are dominant throughout the pornography is actually causing a culture of rape, and therefore they have to mandate legally the kind of pornography that is produced within Canada, and therefore they demand that all pornography can be scaled, registered with people. I think this is a way for them to get into the porn industry and start doing jobs. Though. No, it's not. And what they said was the woman has to be dominant over the man for 65% of the porn. 65%. Actually, I might be wrong. It might not be 65.
Except that like women wouldn't even want to watch that because they like stuff where men dominate them.
Well, so, that's the point. Is that someone had to some person got the job out there to sit down and review Canadian porn, Canadian produced porn, Canadian provided porn. Where they had to sit down and actually have like a sheet and like 2 stopwatches of how long a man was dominant and how long a woman was dominant.
I want that job.
You want that job. That's the job you want.
Oh my god, it's a job to sit around and watch porn. Would you not want that job?
No, because if I was watching porn, my hands would be busy. Okay, I don't have room for 2 stopwatches. I only have room for 1 stopwatch. Maybe if I use 2 fingers on the same stopwatch, it could give me a different perspective.
Now we have technology that can time for us.
No, but computers aren't good enough to manually check who's dominant. Like someone being dominant in pornography is also a weird perspective because someone literally has to determine if somebody is dominant. Like a lot of missionary porn. Who's dominant in missionary porn?
I don't know.
Well then. So what do you consider that? Is that the man being dominant because he's on top, or is that the woman being dominant because she also wants it?
I don't know how. I don't know men who are that big a fan of missionary actually.
Right, because it's a boring position. It's like half sit-ups. No, sorry, half push-ups. The missionary position is like half push-ups, and you're only doing the push-ups with your butt. It's not a fun position. If I wanted to do exercise, I would have done exercise.
Well, see, some of the stuff that says sex is actually really healthy form of exercise. But there's differences between sex and porn, I guess. So maybe we will go there. But do you want me to go through some of the what Pornhub reveals about millennial porn? Because now we have data, actual. Now you don't have weird 90s feminists speculating on things. We actually have actual data.
But the data is now skewed with feminism and the feminist perspective, because again, the feminists, what they did was they made it very culturally and sexually acceptable for women to now watch porn as well, because they need to have 50% of every market all the time. So they push women to watch.
Thing?
That depends on what kind of porn they watch and whether they contribute to the statistics that they themselves do not like. Because from all the studies that I have seen done on the subject, primarily feminists and hardcore lesbians prefer very violent male-dominant porn.
Like they're violating the male?
No, like the man is very, very dominant. Feminists
like this?
Yep.
I thought like generally women find that, but not feminists. We are distincting between feminists and women for the sake of this conversation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand most women want to see male-dominated porn. I understand most males want to watch male-dominated porn. Some do like to watch.
But not necessarily violent.
Well, fine. I'll retract the word violent and use the word aggressive. Very aggressive. Aggressive male dominant porn.
It's like Gone with the Wind. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. We all love Rhett Butler. We all love that kind of man.
Sure.
But okay, well, let's see what people like and don't like, because we.
What are you doing?
I was just not doing my password there.
Yes, because someone's gonna come find your phone.
I don't know. Okay, so we are watching most of our porn on our phones.
Okay, to me, what that means is that a lot of people are sitting around and masturbating at work in the stalls. That's what that means to me.
Well, according to 60% is on their phones, on smartphones, while 33% is on an actual computer. More women are watching porn.
Than who?
Than ever before.
Yes.
Than ever before.
Okay.
So it's still predominantly male. 76% are males, but 24% of millennial porn viewers are female. Well, this is just for Pornhub though, so maybe they have other sources of websites. Although,
no, Pornhub literally bought up like 95% of, not 95%. They bought a lot of the porn sites out there just so they can put it under the Pornhub banner. And claim that, not claim, just gather statistics and analytics.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're making a monopoly on pornography.
Good for them.
It seems to work for them, and yeah.
So we're getting in and off in under 10 minutes. So the average duration.
The average duration has always been about 10 to 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Always. It's nothing new.
Now, the 35 plus age is likely to spend more than 10 minutes.
I agree.
Maybe because now they're more picky about what they like.
No, I'll disagree with that a little bit. I personally remember my teenage years, and maybe I shouldn't be talking about this. No, you know what? Let's just go with it. It was a lot about just getting off, a lot, because you just can't stop it. It's just there. It's always there, and you just need to need to move it out of your exactly. You need to move it out of your system. You need to get it out of your system, or you're gonna be fucking rock hard all day long, and you can't hang out with your friends when you're just rock hard all day long. You just gotta go home and just knock one out and come back out and be like, yeah. So you make an excuse like I have to go take a shit, and just knock one out and come back and be like, let's continue playing football. Or whatever the fuck
football,
it's do these days.
I can imagine you play football.
I didn't play football. Why did you just shove your face into the camera?
Oh, did
I want to edit the like I told you, don't move beyond the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you'll have to edit it later.
Now I have to edit. Now I actually have to edit the goddamn video. Great.
It'll take you 2 seconds to find it.
Yes. 2 seconds.
Okay. So apparently Monday is porn day. the
Every
day of the
is
week
porn day.
that is when Saturday is the least popular day of the week for porn.
Is it because people went out on Friday night and got laid and are less likely to want to watch porn?
Mm-hmm. But I wonder why Mondays. Are they at work? They're bored? They're trying to find motivation to be there?
Yeah. I don't know. Audience, what do you think?
I don't know.
Why do you masturbate more on Monday than any other day?
I don't know. That's an interesting. The most popular search term is lesbian.
Yes. Because literally the patriarchy.
But then even though men dominate, so men are actually searching lesbian, it suggests that people searching in this category are not actual lesbians.
No, you want to watch. Okay. What was that joke? Shit. A feminist once asked me how I view lesbian relationships, and I answered with in HD.
What does that mean? So you guys like to watch?
No. It's a meme. It's a joke. It's like, what's your perspective on female relationships?
Yeah.
I like to watch them in the high definition.
So
Let
what
me
is the
explain
male
jokes.
attraction to lesbians?
Well, two of the same thing is pretty goddamn good.
Just more than one is
Well,
more
there's
fun
boobies.
to watch.
There's okay. So lesbian porn is inherently less gay than straight porn.
Because
There's
you're
literally
watching
no
a guy
penis.
bang another girl, right?
And there's no guy. So there's just two women doing
And
all
you
the
can
things.
just imagine being in the.
No, you don't even need to imagine being in the work.
You could just watch the women.
Your mind just goes. It
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Well,
I don't need to be there. I don't.
So okay, so it's the having another guy in there kind of ruins it a little.
Not for me, but
But for guys, it could. Is that the
Well,
cuck thing?
see,
The anti-
Pornhub is telling you that lesbian is the most frequently searched thing, but Chatterbait, on the other hand, will tell you that absolutely people are willing to watch women on their own a lot. And you don't need to look for women on their own. There's entire
you just meant,
websites
women
dedicated.
who just touch themselves in front of the camera.
Well, if you actually looked into Chatterbait, it's not women touching themselves. Someone created this ingenious way of making people pay money to stimulate things inside of women's vaginas. It's genius, and I wish I came up with it. Every goddamn day of it, because they're selling. Okay, so basically, it's vibrators the women shove inside of them that have an antenna. They're connected to the Wi-Fi, but they're also connected to an app. So when you donate a certain amount of money, it vibrates. So it's like donating. What do they do? Like 30? No, donating 5 tokens will vibrate it for a second. Donating 10 tokens will vibrate it for 2 seconds.
I really want to understand who these girls are that find this.
I've
Something
seen a
that
girl
they
make
wanna do.
$2,000 in the course of an hour.
I guess.
Anyone who's in a shitty third world country and wants to make some money can sit in front of a webcam and masturbate and get American
you support
currency.
This.
Do I support this? Look, we can have prostitutes selling themselves on the street to God knows who, or okay.
That's safer than prostitution.
It is much safer.
actually.
You have a room and a webcam, and you can masturbate in front of a webcam for money. That is literally cheaper than becoming an actual prostitute. The problem is that you need a bank account and a bunch of other stuff, and you got to be relatively good looking. From all the time I've spent on Chatterbait, it varies a lot. But then again, all the crazy advancements in sex toys just removes the need for a guy altogether. They have giant black dicks that cum, fucking fountains of cum. And it's not real cum. It's like some sugar fucking composite, and the girl just rides it as if it's a real dick from your perspective, and then she just fills herself full of cum and just drips for 30 minutes straight.
Why?
Because guys like it. Because some people want to see it.
Okay, so I guess so maybe the most common porn is actually ones with women
Solo
alone
females.
on. Okay. Well, according to Pornhub, the most searched terms, though, which is different, I guess, is lesbian, then teen, then stepmom, MILF, squirt, mom, stepsister, Japanese. Now, once again, from the top, lesbian, teen, stepmom, MILF, squirt, mom, stepsister, Japanese. And then following that is threesome, massage, ebony, black, cartoon,
those don't matter
gangbang.
anymore. Those are just useless categories at that point.
Celebrity sex tape.
Okay, celebrity sex tape is obviously going to be a very popular one, especially since all the recent celebrity sex tapes have been floating out there.
Yeah, so apparently faux incest is very popular. Stepmom, mom, stepsisters.
Why do I put a microphone in front of you? You're just gonna lean into the camera shot every second. The whole point of the microphone was to prevent you from leaning any further than you need to.
Sorry, because I wanted to put this on the table. Okay, I moved the microphone back. You can edit it out.
The whole point is that me editing out is going to be a lot of effort. I mean, and then by a lot of effort, I mean any effort. Anyway,
sorry.
the point is that I get teen.
But stepsister, stepmom, MILF.
Well, it's part of that whole new incest thing that they're trying out. There's been a huge. What do you call it when there's been a rise in, whatever, a huge rise in incest, just incest porn altogether. I don't know why it's a thing.
Well, they're saying actually, like 90s teens, movies like Cher and Josh and Clueless and Sebastian and Catherine in Cruel Intentions may have left some things about, I don't know, fucking your stepsister. This is according to this website, which I don't know. But anyway.
Well, Pornhub may show you the analytics for things like stepsister, but other websites might just show you analytics for straight up just all the incest.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure if actually Pornhub does incest. I think incest is one of those illegal things where Pornhub doesn't allow it, so they let you go with the stepsister aspect.
Yeah. Because being blood related is what makes it wrong, I suppose.
Well, isn't that what they're selling? That's literally what the porn industry is selling. It's the wrongness.
We'll see what happens now that Jon Snow and Khaleesi fucked and everybody wanted them to fuck and now they're related. So we'll see. Maybe people are going to be like trans relationshipism where
me
you
and
can
my
be.
sister don't feel like we're part of the same family.
So
we
yeah.
must not be related. So it's okay for us to fuck.
Yeah, or something like that.
Look, if you sell debauchery and literally all things that are wrong, then you could very easily sell the concept of incest.
So this one's not very surprising at all, but we're into cartoons, stuff like hentai, and just being in Discord for such a short time of my adult life, I have quickly seen that a lot of the pictures that are explicit that are posted are the anime type.
Hentai, as they call it.
Yes.
The hentai variety.
Yes. And apparently, millennial users are 190% more likely to search for hentai than the 35 and up crowd. They're also 131% more likely to search for anime. Thoughts?
Yes. No. I don't know. It's really self-explanatory. I covered this whole thing with Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, introducing tits onto a cartoon skunk, hedgehog, squirrel, whatever the fuck she was. And then there's been a resurgence of what do you call it? Furry pornography and anthropomorphic animal pornography. So the fact that someone out there decided to say, hey, let's draw some cartoons having sex, and then someone else went, hey, let's watch cartoons having sex, just created an entire industry of people who grew up already on cartoon sex. Plus, it's only in cartoon sex, or hentai, or whatever the fuck, that I've ever seen a penis the size of a car enter a girl the size of a 4-year-old. So...
Yeah, I know the imagination in some of those pictures are quite no
quite
just they're quite imaginative.
They are very quite imaginative. If you bother to actually explore the universe of hentai pornography, there's a surprising large amount of demon rape. Just
demon rape.
Demon rape. Just demon rape. I don't know why it has to be specifically demon rape, but it is. They just say, hey, demon penis the size of a fucking human being.
I've also noticed that like in anime they use rape as threat a lot. Like even when we were watching Hellsing, and I don't know what was the other thing. Like and like just in general in Japanese anime style stuff, the women are always like.
Rape is more threatening than death. Do consider that. Like it's scarier to get raped than to get killed. You gotta live through it and then live with it, as opposed to being dead, where you just don't.
Well, I mean, Will was arguing with me about that whole concept of there's things that are worse than rape, and why is rape seen as... Well, we were talking about the whole Game of Thrones
I
thing.
understand Will's perspective, where Will says, yes, I'd rather be raped than killed, because then I can go on living and experience anything, as opposed to being dead and experience nothing.
Right, but like, how did you feel about people like, you know, freaking out over Sansa and Ramsay and that whole scene, as opposed to what Ramsay does to
I've seen much
Theon.
better rape scenes.
I know, but the idea that she was even raped on her wedding night.
Literally, I just answered that question by saying I've seen much better rape scenes.
I'm saying the outrage about it.
Yeah, but people are outraged about everything.
Right, but I'm saying, so was that worse than what happened to Theon? What Ramsay did to Theon.
You mean the difference between the fact that he kind of like bent her over and fucked her for a bit?
Yeah.
And she looked surprisingly bored during that scene as well.
Well, no, she was crying. And you don't see the scene. You just see it about to happen. They cut it off. And they make Theon watch. He makes Theon watch.
Okay. Clearly what happened to Theon is much worse than what happened to her.
Okay.
Considering he was...
In that moment, I'm saying. We don't know what else he did to her after. He could have done horrible things. Like, they don't actually show later on.
Well, the whole point was that Bran did allude to the fact that he saw what happened to her, and he didn't seem to be that fazed by it. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, but like...
Yeah. But I'm just saying,
she's also not emotionally destroyed by it. She doesn't seem to be having too much PTSD associated with it. And you can literally see Theon break down at the sight of Ramsay. You can see that the fact that he was literally had his penis carved away by inch.
I don't even think that was the worst thing he did to him.
Sure, there's constant psychological torture over the course of months.
Oh, it was damn.
And eventually had his penis cut off and made who did he make eat the penis? Make him eat the penis?
No, he sent the penis to his sister.
No, I think he cut off a piece and made him eat it. I don't remember. Maybe he just had a dog eat it. The point was that he went through a whole variety of things with Theon and nobody batted an eye. But again, this is a patriarchy. Remember, the men are trying to be strong and brave and not give a fuck about shit like this. And none of us ever watched the scene being like, holy shit, I'm really offended. I need to be protected from this ever getting out.
I'm just saying in the context of so you're saying in anime and in but I still think but even in Western media, we're easily willing to like shoot people in the head, but a sexually aggressive scene makes everybody uncomfortable now.
But the whole point of it was that it was sexually... Okay, this is why I really like Quentin Tarantino. He was not afraid or shy from literally using his main character as a fuck sex doll. In the first movie, second movie, when did that happen? When he openly admitted to not only was she murdered, had her baby fucking removed, but while she was in a coma, the guy taking care of her was actually selling her to other people and constantly having her raped.
That was a rape revenge movie.
It was not a rape revenge movie.
Kill Bill is a rape revenge movie.
Okay, you can say
it follows like the formula of rape revenge.
Okay.
In Hollywood.
First of all, you can't just say that and not back it up.
Like there's a formula in Hollywood movies.
It is a revenge fulfillment fantasy movie.
Yeah.
Not a rape revenge fulfillment fantasy movie. The rape aspect of it was not even remotely focused on at all, so that's why it's not. There is actual rape revenge fantasy movies out there that focus on murdering everyone that was involved in your rape.
Yeah. No, I know that too.
Like Straw Dog.
There's like a whole bunch.
And they did
Straw
remakes
Dogs too. Like the Last House on the Left and where's the other
What was that one movie where I think it was it Straw
Even people
Dogs?
talk about MovieBob was talking about how Maleficent kind of turned into a rape revenge.
No, Movie Bob was a fucking idiot and he should be shot in the face. I've given up on him whatsoever.
And I spit
I've
on your
seen his
grave.
most recent fucking tweets, and I'm disgusted by everything he had to say. I assumed he was going to be a decently sensible individual, but the fact that he yells at people to stop fucking interacting or acting, stop treating President Trump like your president. Good for you.
Okay,
Go back to
sorry,
school
I didn't
and do
mean
what you
to
want
bring
do.
up Movie Bob as a distraction.
The point was, I think it was Straw Dogs. It was that one scene that feminists are really pissed off about, that the director didn't tell the woman that they're going to be going through a rape scene.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty
That
sure it was called
with-
Straw Dogs.
That was, I don't know what the movie was.
I
but
know
it
what
was
the
with
movie was
a
called
famous
because I've
actor.
actually seen it, and you haven't. It's called. I'm pretty sure it's called Straw Dogs.
And I think it was against a really famous actor too.
The actress.
No. The actor who
Yes,
did the
yes,
scene.
yes. While the husband was away doing something or getting his
Harrison
ass kicked,
Ford, I think.
they broke. No, it wasn't. They broke into the house and they raped his wife. That was the revenge that they feel they did it to spite him because he was moving into their neighborhood or
Wasn't
something like that.
technically like Memento a rape revenge movie?
It was very, very graphic, and it was incredibly uncomfortable for me to watch, which is what made it memorable and good. It was a movie out of the 70s, maybe 80s, where it was a convincing rape scene. And, yeah, that's all I have to say.
And she didn't know it was gonna happen in the movie, because that's still pretty horrible.
She may have not known the extent it was going to go to, but whatever the feminists are upset about, the feminists are upset about.
If I was her, I would be pretty upset.
That depends on how upset you are, and again, you should probably see the movie before you judge for yourself. This isn't modern day cinematography where actresses are literally taking a dick in their vagina and being like, "I only did a sex scene. It wasn't real rape. It was just a scene, but you took a dick in the vagina." That's literally a sex scene, and a literal sex scene, a pornographic sex scene. In fact, you're now a prostitute. So you're literally a prostitute at this point because you took a dick in a vagina for money.
Okay, but those types of movies, like the whole, like they're a subgenre of horror movies, of like the whole like rape revenge subgenre, and the revenge ones. Those are just like a subgenre. But like in mainstream film, like stuff that would. Although, like, it happened, like, I guess in Monsters Ball. I've never seen it, though. And apparently that other movie, Monster. But I'm just saying, like, we're willingly to accept, like, 100 people dying in a film, like, getting shots in heads and all of this violence and all of this stuff. But, like, a scene with a woman getting, like, you know, even that scene where Shane and Laurie in Walking Dead. Like, you're literally, people are dying and getting eaten alive. And that's what's upsetting people.
Literally. This whole thing was summed up in a very, very simple argument back fucking a year and a half ago, where the feminists have came out and pressured DC Comics to remove an alternate cover. Remember that alternate cover where the Joker was holding Batgirl at gunpoint and like holding her in this weird position where it was vaguely sexual, and the feminists went, "No, you cannot have this in comic books. You cannot have a female character positioned or even in the fucking, I don't even know what to fucking call it. Like I can't even anymore. I can't even anymore.
The one argument.
No. The point is that that's the level it's gotten to. The point is that you can't even portray female characters in disempowered positions anymore without the feminists getting uppity about everything, and that's why you only need women in empowering roles, which is why most of the media is garbage right now. Right,
which I agree, because this is a newer thing in film, like because before in a lot of films and in a lot of movies and even in soap operas and stuff like that, they actually use like like rape for a woman to be like a pivotal moment, like how to progress her character. So
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the character development of most women revolved around them being raped or their sexuality, which was weird, yes, but also it is a pinnacle moment in a lot of people's lives, and a lot of women. I can't defend
and then that's what they're saying. They're like that's normalizing rape, right? That's rape culture by like saying that like and that like a woman like this has to experience. I don't know. It's bullshit, but. Anyway, that kind of got sidetracked. I just think it's really interesting how it's like a whole reverse of all of that, where like we can easily watch like people eat each other alive.
Okay.
But like Shane getting a little bit.
I'll get back to my point then. Yes, Yes, it got retarded because you can't even have women in disempowered positions anymore without a feminist getting uppity, but you can have John Wick murder hundreds of people with headshots for the entire 2-hour duration of a fucking movie, and nobody says a goddamn thing. This is why they positioned Mad Max as a feminist movie when it first came out, which again we watched because fuck, why not? Okay, I was excited to see if it was as good as it was, and it wasn't that good, and none of us found it to be a feminist movie, and none of us found it to be a particularly good movie either. The problem was that there was a feminist society that in that movie. The fact that he gave her the gun was also like, who gives a shit? And nobody got raped, but hundreds of people fucking died. Just hundreds of men just slaughtered constantly all the time, and nobody said anything about it. And that's what the feminist movie
really,
is, right?
really hot, pretty women too. That's the feminist.
Absolutely,
that's pro-feminism.
They literally destroyed the patriarchy that had fucking giant fat cows breeding children for them. But it's only the hot women that mattered in that entire movie.
Yeah,
only the literal models that weighed like 97 pounds.
Yeah. Look, feminism.
It wasn't real. It's part of the whole fucking outrage culture marketing scheme. It's exactly what it was. They wanted to present it as a feminist movie so people would protest it or talk about it or do whatever the fuck they do to drive up controversy for everyone to get really upset about some stupid shit. And so then more people talk about the movie itself. We watched it. We didn't even fuck. We pirated the fuck out of that movie. I'm sorry to say. I'm not sorry. Yeah, we pirated the fuck out of that movie. That's what we did. We didn't pay for it. We watched it and was like, eh.
It sucked.
Cool shit. Some guy with an electric guitar that shot flames.
It was so boring. It was lame.
It wasn't boring. You enjoyed it. You're just having bad memories about it now.
I honestly. Okay, this should be we have a podcast for another night of how generally disappointing movies have been overall.
But we were covering that literally right now by expressing how porn is more telling of today's society than the actual movies that we're watching, because they're literally socially engineering us into watching the kind of garbage they want us to watch, but it's not for us. We already know it's garbage. Me and you, we know it's garbage. We watch it, it's garbage. But you know who doesn't know it's garbage? The new generation growing up right now. They don't know that it's garbage. They're gonna grow up with Star Wars and think Star Wars is a continuation of a fucking story where there's a lot of strong female characters.
Which is exactly what happened to your generation. You guys just don't see it because you grew up with it. And Star Wars was pretty shitty. I guess for its time, maybe like
Star
back then.
Wars was wish fulfillment for children like me. It's too bad that I grew up about 10. I was born fucking 10 years after that movie came out. 13 years after that movie came out. Whenever the fuck that movie came out. That movie came out in the 70s. Star Wars 1 came out in the 70s. Star Wars 2 came out closer to the 80s. Star Wars 3 came out in the 80s. These are wish fulfillment movies for young teens.
Yeah,
young
and they're
boys.
still doing the same thing. Right now, all the kids who grew up with episode 1, 2, and 3 love those
Where's
movies.
The wish fulfillment? Where's the wish fulfillment in that movie?
My cousin right now is like obsessed with Star Wars and loves it, and he's 7.
I will absolutely talk to him next time we see him about the new Star Wars movie and what he liked about it, because he likes the Ninja Turtles and he likes Legos and he likes a bunch of different stuff.
And Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers.
Anything to do with, but
he likes guns and swords and fights. And I'm gonna ask him what he liked about the new Star Wars movie, and he's not gonna give me a real answer. And I will report back to you guys to let you know exactly what was the big deal.
Because it's cool
for
and fun
the
to
7-year-old.
watch.
It's fun to watch. It was not fun to watch.
What did you like about the Star Wars movies at age 7?
Okay, first of all, I didn't watch the Star Wars movies at age 7. I watched the Star Wars movie at about the age 13, and I watched 1, 2, and 3, the original movies. When the new ones came out, I literally remember watching them and not knowing what they're about.
Okay, people, tell me how old you were when you first watched Star Wars.
Okay, so that's my thing. I never thought those movies were particularly fantastic because I have no idea what the fuck they're about. I like the fight scene of Darth Maul versus whatever the other two. Anakin Skywalker. No, not Anakin.
You mean in the because in the original movies, the Tridge, the fight scenes are stupid boring. Like
the fight scenes are stupid boring, but they're wish fulfillment. It's you being able to be a dirt farmer and rising up to the point where you defeat the galaxy's biggest fucking threat.
Why are we talking about Star Wars? I really don't care about Star Wars.
Porn. It's porn. It's literally
so
wish
how
fulfillment.
common is Star Wars porn?
Let's find out. Type in Star Wars and porn.
Well, before we're saying we're big in, so I was okay. We're officially over smoking porn, so apparently people like smoking in porn, and now they don't anymore.
What do you mean smoking porn? Does that mean like smoking cigarettes with a vagina?
No, smoking in porn. Sorry. Like smoking, like when...
Keep reading stats. I'm gonna go get I'm gonna go get myself another beer.
Are you gonna bring me something too?
Well, we're 45 minutes in, and you're still most of the way through your beer.
Okay. We're really big into fitness porn. Fitness, so health and wellness meets porn. So using the gym or yoga and the rise of acrobatics on yoga on Instagram. So millennials love big butts. As a category, big ass is 69% more likely to be searched by millennials than older porn viewers.
Okay. You know why?
Because Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Twerking.
Single-handedly.
Twerking.
Oh.
Literally twerking did that. It's all about the twerk. People like to watch girls with big jiggly butts jiggle their butts.
The most popular porn star is Kim Kardashian.
My heart city. It's my banana flavored beer. I personally really like it. Sigan hates it.
It tastes weird.
It does not taste beer. And it has no real banana in it. For those fucking haters out there. This one's also not working out.
It's because you're pouring shitty.
Yep.
So apparently the most popular porn star is Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian is not even a porn star.
Apparently her 2007 sex tape is the #1 most viewed video in Pornhub history, garnering well over 93 million views.
So now you know why
And
Kim
that was
Kardashian is famous. It's also why, what's his face? What's her husband's name?
No.
What's his name?
Kanye West was
That's it.
famous before Kim Kardashian.
I'm not saying why he's famous. I'm saying why he married her.
Oh, because she has that ass.
I don't like her ass. I like nothing about her ass. Speaking of ass, there's that fabled... Okay. Did you ever go out and take a look at the Jennifer Lawrence nudes that got leaked?
I didn't.
Why?
Because I don't actively search for naked people on the internet. It's just, I don't know, busy
there was
reading
nothing,
boring shit.
There's absolutely nothing sexier than knowing that Jennifer Lawrence, with her up high and mighty bullshit, got all of her news leaked all over the internet.
Mm-hmm. I was aware that happened. I didn't see her nudes. I don't know why I would. I've seen naked women before. I'm sure she just looks like another one.
But whatever. See, this is it. Women don't get it. They don't understand.
How often do you even remember the faces of the naked women that you see?
That depends on the naked women. Is it people I know personally? Or is it random celebrities whose names I can't remember for the most part until I see them naked? I literally couldn't remember Jennifer Lawrence's name for the fucking hell of me until I saw her naked. I'm like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence.
I guess men's brains really do think differently.
What purpose does she have in my life? Literally,
I don't know. Like, I like
she
her
was
movies.
garbage in X-Men. She was garbage, all the garbage. She was all the biggest dumpster fire in what the fuck is that garbage movie series called?
Hunger Games?
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Hunger Games. She does not look like she was hungry
But
at all.
I really
throughout
liked
the entire
her
movie.
in American Hustle.
Okay.
She was amazing. And
Okay,
in
literally could have replaced her with anyone. Could have
and-
replaced her with Kim Kardashian's ass, and it would have made a difference to me.
You didn't like that movie as much as I did.
There you go. That explains that, doesn't it?
Do you even remember what that movie was about?
American Hustle?
Yeah.
Was it about the stockbroker?
No, that was the Wolf of Wall Street.
How's that any different?
American Hustle was with Christian Bale.
Was the guy from True Detective in it? The one
Yes.
who's the all
yeah.
right guy?
Yes, Matthew McConaughey was
See,
in
I haven't
it.
seen him naked. I won't remember.
Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Well, no, I just loved what imprinted on me was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's one of my favorite movies ever. It's one of my favorite chick flicks.
Okay, let's not talk about that movie.
Why?
I had a girlfriend who tried to do every single one of those things on me. She's like, I don't know why. She like talked to me about how much she loves that fucking
Should
movie.
I nickname your pee-pee?
Should you nickname my pee-pee?
That's what she does in the movie. What is she? Oh my god, I forgot now.
If only I
Like
could remember.
Mr. Sparkleton or something.
If only I could remember what she named my penis. Then we'll see if you and her come up with the same nickname for my penis. And I'll have just so many issues at this point. The point is that movie was not a good thing for me whatsoever. It was really weird because also she She tried a lot of that shit on me, and then I literally broke up with her. And she pretended to get pregnant to get back together with me.
Bitches be crazy. What can I say?
All the bitches be crazy.
Well,
all of them. Every single one.
Both boys are crazy too. It's because we're crazy for the boys. This is what you don't understand.
You don't try to literally break up with me over the course of 2 weeks.
We want attention and we want to not hate ourselves because apparently that's something every woman is born with. I don't know. Maybe every man is kind of born with that too, though. Like maybe everyone just born hating themselves.
I wouldn't mind
it's
that being
probably
a
called
mechanism.
like original sin for a reason.
Ooh, we're back to fucking religion. Fantastic. and now we rediscover that religion was right all along. Look, I'm just saying. There's a whole field of pornography out there that I personally thoroughly enjoy much more than any of the overproduction bullshit.
Yeah, there's so apparently the most popular porn really is amateur porn. So I'm just trying to pull up where I had that information. So
Guess we'll just sit here quietly until
no, you
then.
could talk.
Well, I was saying that. Have you guys seen all the Jennifer Lawrence nudes? And they still keep coming out once in a while. There's a new one that keeps popping up.
So people do visit their pornography sites from their work computer more often. But something about amateur porn is the most popular. So
because it's literally the least overly produced one, and most amateur porn consists of people having real sex, not fake sex, not 45-minute bangathon where you come buckets onto somebody. Not that that's wrong. Not that that's not something you could do. I've known people that like their 45-minute bangathons with buckets of cum afterwards.
You do?
Yes.
Go on.
But if I want to masturbate to something, I'd rather it not be a piece of plastic that's heavily produced. Like, people don't talk about it. Like, you understand how, like, in movies that celebrities sit down. Fucking, what movie was it? I think it was. Shit, I don't remember. I can't even think of the right celebrity for the situation. But celebrities constantly sit around and talk about how much bullshit makeup they have to go through for each and every movie and how they have to sit in makeup for 3 to 6 hours a day, every day to get the look. But, like, do I want my porn stars to literally wipe off their face every time they have to wipe cum off their face? No, I don't. I literally don't. It's called foundation because that's what we call the thing that we fucking build houses on top of. Yeah, so there it is.
That's funny because now I'm thinking makeup called foundation and concealer.
Yes, you build the foundation for what you want your face to look like.
No,
and then
it
you
just means it's what you put on underneath as the base of your makeup, and then you add the other makeup
on the foundation. You sculpt your face,
and you use the concealer to hide the things to conceal.
To hide the foundation.
No, you use concealer to hide all of the flaws, to conceal them, and then you use foundation. Although actually, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a makeup blogger.
You add the foundation, and then you put the concealer over the foundation to make your face look more natural after you've sculpted it with Play-Doh.
But look, most of these makeup people who do like makeup tutorials start with their real faces, and then they do the makeup tutorial. So you see what they look like before them. I have watched several makeup tutorials.
Several? I have watched more. That literally
you have not watched more makeup tutorials. Because I actually watched them to figure out how to fucking do them, and I can never figure out how to do that stupid eye thing.
Have you ever seen that one Asian girl that takes her tummy and she shows you that it's not flat or it's kind of flabby? And then she just shows you how she puts on makeup over the course of the next 3-4 minutes to make it look like she's got abs.
Yeah.
That same principle is transferred over to everything else. Whenever you're seeing Chris Hemsworth's fucking abs, those aren't his real abs. That's called Photoshop. That's literally means that somebody's digitally enhancing it. I'm not saying he doesn't have abs. He absolutely does. I'm just saying nothing you see in real media is real, and that's why people are returning back to the real. That's why people prefer real YouTubers. Sadly, YouTube is in the same market of creating fake identities with fake people.
And creating YouTube identities. Now on television, they're trying to do the YouTube blogging thing. So Much Music, which is Canada's version of MTV, is trying to like create these like faux YouTube blogging people online to have shows that are on cable to have shows that would essentially be the same thing we watch like Philip DeFranco do.
Well, it's not Philip DeFranco. Philip DeFranco gives you news and bit bites and news bites
or like
from his own
fashion
perspective.
bloggers or makeup bloggers or whoever.
Yes, and it doesn't fucking matter at all to me.
They're just bringing blogging to fucking cable.
That's fine.
Which is stupid because the audience isn't on cable. They're online. Like,
well, why is the audience online? Because they want to get away from cable. The point of cable trying to do what's happening online is just want to get away from cable. It's all fake. It's all fake.
It still gets the kids though, like the younger, like 14 and under.
Do you remember the concept that kids are retarded? Just always remember that kids are retarded.
Maybe not though, because I'm looking at my younger cousins and they also watch YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And who do they watch? Logan Paul, Philip DeFranco.
Yeah.
The most recent porn star that decided to start the YouTube blog where she shakes her butt in what is that girl's fucking name? The one she keeps putting on costumes from video games and just shaking her butt. She's got a really big round jiggly butt and she just shakes her butt in front of the camera. So she does on YouTube and she does it on Twitch and then she plays video games. And then if you really pay her enough money, she'll just show you her vagina. Okay. So I was just getting back to porn.
I see.
It's all cyclical. It's all cyclical.
Now that the root of the issue though. Do you think there are negative consequences of porn?
We haven't even gotten to the main reason there are negative consequences to porn because we haven't even talked about the fact that children are sitting around on Pornhub surfing through it because there's literally zero barrier for you to be able to get onto Pornhub anytime you want. I don't even think Pornhub has a confirmed your age.
People who have good parents have barriers. Like there's parental controls.
We're not there right now where we're talking about whether people have good parents or not, whether they bother to put porn filters on. And kids can get around porn filters very easily by literally going anywhere else.
It's not my fault kids are resourceful and smart and can figure out how to get to shit parents don't want them to get to.
It should be your fault.
Kids are going to get to the information parents don't want to. Weren't you stealing weren't 14-year-olds stealing their dad's porn magazines before the internet?
Sure, but I can talk about me looking at my dad's porn mags when I was little because we didn't have the internet, but I will also tell you that by the time I was 14 and had my first computer, I managed to pirate my very first pornography games off the internet and install them and hide them in places on my computer my parents wouldn't be able to find them. So I could literally play interactive porn.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if a kid's super smart and super motivated like you were to find porn, I'm sure there's what are you gonna do? Lock him in a fucking room?
Well, that's the age-old question: is what do you do? You can't block the entire internet. Mm-hmm. You can't what do you do? I know my kid's going to be smarter than me. I know he's gonna outsmart me because I can outsmart me. Mm-hmm. If I lock the internet.
And considering how stubborn you are, your kid is gonna be so much more stubborn and will make it its personal mission.
Well, we're gonna have to deal with that together.
It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm going to keep score.
You're going to keep score?
I'm going to keep score. It'll be on the wall.
You think the kid's going to outsmart me?
I'm so sure your kid's going to outsmart you.
Well, fine.
It'll make it its mission.
Or maybe I'll have to play.
Because it was your mission.
It was not my mission. My mission was never to outsmart my parents.
No, you just happened to, and then it was
just
just
so
done
happens
for you.
That's a lot of what my parents told me were lies, and I caught on to it fairly quickly.
I need a new beer.
Why? What's wrong with your current beer?
It's the end, and I don't like drinking the end.
We have 7 minutes left.
Do you want us to? Are we not going to get into the conversation? Oh yeah, I do have a paper to write.
What conversation?
About we haven't gone into the root, into the meat. Of the porn, of the effects of porn. What is happening? So apparently, some of the other statistics I didn't get into is that porn watching has actually decreased overall in some ways. So people are less into watching porn now, maybe because availability decreases interest to some extent, so they can get it easily. I will actually
disagree with that on a fundamental level, purely because of websites apps like. Chat
roulette?
No, that other one, the one with the ghost.
Oh, so you think they're just going otherwhere else?
Snapchat lets people absolutely send you nudes. Also, Snapchat has literal porn stars, or whatever the fuck they want to call themselves, that will send out nudes.
So you just
Instagram
their
is
sources are changing.
Instagram is literally full of porn accounts. Why? Because women say, hey, if I can get enough followers on Instagram to follow my naked ass, naked vagina, naked tits all the way through, I can then let them know that I will be available naked on this website and providing new, better material.
Are you happy that these women exist that are willing to do this?
Happy?
Well, I'm saying, what do you think of these women? In some ways, you guys still look at these women and enjoy the material that they produce.
Okay, we'll get into that in a second. Just hold on to that. But there's also Twitter, which allows porn accounts. So there's women that do the porn, and there's all the social medias that have porn accounts on them. Now, whether I am happy or not about these women, I feel like they're better off than what they were doing earlier. I am personally all for a large percentage of this whole thing. Okay.
You're cool with women using their bodies to make money.
Here's the thing. I grew up in a very liberal society, and therefore I absolutely am okay with women using their bodies to make money. I prefer women post nudes online. I prefer that they charge people to watch them masturbate. I prefer to do they do a lot of different stuff as opposed to the things that women before them had to do, like literally become strippers. Like they literally had to become prostitutes to make any ends meet.
Okay.
We've spoken to Fern on a regular basis, and she says she did it for the money so she can get into whatever, so she can pay her bills, she can whatever.
Going to med school.
And she's
Yeah.
not that ashamed of it, and nor do I feel like she should be.
Okay.
If people want to pay her to do what she does, then she can do it. I have no problems with that. She understands that this isn't optimal, and I think that she might regret doing it at some point or another. But this is the things that she had to do. This is never. We're never gonna have a
I don't know
society.
the thing about she had to do or didn't, or whether you choose to not to. It's like, so I don't know. So I find like, but these are not the women you would want to marry at the end of the day or have a family with. Is kind of what I think the point I'm trying to get at is.
No.
Where guys will be like so I'm glad, and they'll enjoy
finish one sentence at a time, please.
They'll enjoy the content that the women
The
produce.
people that are watching Fern's content are not necessarily the people that were always interested in marrying her. Although, alternatively, you will continuously find, hopefully you will find, and if you don't, someone should do the goddamn research on the fact that people that go and frequent, let's say, strip clubs to begin with, and end up with...
strippers?
No, not strip club. No. Literally, my point was, people that go to strip clubs will inevitably start to fall in love with the strippers that they spend the most amount of money on.
That's true.
It's a lot of sadness,
And the prostitutes
and
too.
they love those women. They want to spend their lives with those women. There's no such thing as, oh, so me and Trigger don't want to spend their time with fucking whores and prostitutes and whatever. Fine. But there's a million other men that propose, that literally sit there and demand the attention of these women, that want to make honest women of them. How many strippers or prostitutes will you talk to and say, I have at least one guy that comes to me weekly and tells me he wants to be with me. He wants to take me away from this life. He wants to make me an honest
there's
woman.
songs written about it.
There's songs written about it, but the
There's,
whole
like,
point
lots
is
of
that
songs.
exists. That exists. It's literally
See,
no.
yeah,
A lot of men
that's
are
true.
looked down upon for being scummy, whatever the fuck. But they literally are willing to love somebody, even though like they don't care. They know that she's a prostitute. There's a reason there's
all of like Moulin. See, yeah, that's true, and that's not how the story is spun though. Like the way the feminists spin the story is that like, oh, when we accept men having like multiple partners, but if a woman has multiple partners, she's a whore. She has no value. She's no whatever. So they're like making it. But then you're right. Like there's movies, there's books, there's all of these like love songs and odes to like even women who are prostitutes and whores and whatever, and these men wanting to take them for their own and don't share. Roxanne, come on, The Police. That's a good song.
Sure.
It's a good song.
He literally says you don't have to put on that red
But
dress
it's still
tonight.
like it's still kind of like patriarchal. It's like, oh, she's only doing it because she has to.
Why else would she do it?
Well, maybe some women want to. Maybe they enjoy. You don't think some of those girls who get naked on the camera aren't enjoying getting naked on the camera? Those strippers who are doing those, like, that's hard. That's physically.
Not for money. Most of these women, okay, there's absolutely women that are willing to do it for fun. There's absolutely women that are willing to do it for money. There's an absolute for everything. I can go on my Pornhub account right now, and I will show you that there's hundreds of women out there willing to post their own photos, their own sexual experiences, their own videos, their own couple videos, their everything for free because they want to. The other women are saying that's cheap.
Oh, so you're saying if they're doing it for money, but then people do jobs that they enjoy.
Sure.
Like, if you enjoy making movies, if you're doing it for money, does that make it less of like a thing that you do?
It's a different type of thing. Most porn stars go on to direct porn when they can. They don't continue being an actor in porn. Women will use their sexuality for as long as they can to reach the most amount of monetary, to gain the most monetary value out of it. Afterwards, they will know what men want and also continue it. If there are prostitutes out there that are willing to have sex with men, but no, I feel like by the time you're having sex with random strangers on the street, it's a whole different thing. There's escort girls, there's escorts out there that have a professional business of taking you out, treating you nicely, treating you well, treating you like with respect in front of other people. But even they have marriage proposals from their customers. Mm-hmm. It all depends. Most of them don't want to be there to just entertain men because they know their looks will fade.
Well, do you think there's no correlation between attractiveness and cam girls or porn girls, or like, I'm not saying prostitution, because poverty and prostitution and even stripping and poverty are highly correlated, but like all of these girls on Instagram and on social media and who go into porn, like, if you have even as a guy, if you have a naturally really hot body, would you not be more likely to use it to make money?
They are doing. Go to Pornhub. Go to Pornhub. Create a Silerious, Siggy Silerious, whatever account, and go talk to the thousands, hundreds of thousands of members that just are willingly posting videos and photos of them for free. And then go and talk to the people that are doing it for
but they
money.
also probably are attractive or find themselves attractive.
Some are not. That's the difference.
Or
Some
find
are,
themselves
some aren't.
attractive.
Some people don't find themselves attractive. In fact, it's really awkward when you do meet people who don't find themselves attractive, who continuously do things like webcam or sell their photos or whatever.
You have to have a level of confidence in your body to be able to show it to
That's why some of the most self-conscious people in the entire world are models.
Oh no, it's a difference about being self-consciousness. Okay, sorry, I said that wrong. But you have to at least think that if you're willing. Okay, I don't know. I'm going to have to come back to that.
All right. The problem is that I
need to pee, and I need another beer if we're going to keep going, or we need to wrap up.
Well, we're at the hour mark. We
Okay.
can keep going if you want to. We can pause and continue, or we can just end it now. We
can end it now if you want.
Well, all right. Do you want to say goodbye?
Did you have a concluding statement?
No. I will say that my kids will outsmart me and will watch more porn than I've ever seen. I know I know if I have a boy, he needs to watch that porn to knock out as much sperm out of him as possible throughout his teen years. You're gonna have a harder time with that than I am because you're the person who cleans, and if you find sperm all over the place, that's going to be a problem for you.
Well, you're gonna have to help me clean a little bit more if we have kids.
Sure. I'll clean the basement. We'll figure that out. If we have a girl, if she starts posting semi-nude photos of herself online, we have a more worrying situation. Mm-hmm. But then again, it'll be a completely new life that we're bringing into the world in a brand new environment that we have never known.
So just like one comment on that, where boys are more likely to look at naked girls and girls are more likely to get naked for boys to look at them.
Yes.
So why is it that you find it okay for your son to look at naked girls, but for your daughter to get naked for boys? Why Why?
The getting naked for boys is literally for her trying to get as much attention as she can, predominantly from people she doesn't even know. My son, per se, who is going to sit at home and masturbate to his heart's content, is just to get as much of that hormone.
But the
edginess
hormonal
out
level
as
for girls
possible.
to get that attention is also there. There's a
There's
reason
no
that
sexual
girls.
gratification. The women.
But there's an emotional gratification from getting that attention from men.
Okay. Then me and you're gonna have a whole separate conversation about maybe that's what we'll save the next podcast for. Maybe the next podcast, me and you will talk about our experiences as teenagers and what we had to go through.
Oh, I'm not ready for that.
You're not ready for that.
No, I am not. That's no, we can't do that. You can talk about it and I'll listen. But
well, then I guess I need a second co-host.
if you want me to talk about my teenage years, that's a lot of opening up of a lot of personal stuff.
I just want to talk about the emotional states, not necessarily.
But that's all related.
Well, there you
It's
go,
all
guys.
tied
Women,
in.
they're not willing to tell you what they actually think, what they actually feel.
No, but people start thinking, okay,
What?
we'll cut it and I'll tell you the details later.
Okay, well, look. All I'm saying is that the reason my son can try and knock out as much of his hormone bullshit as possible is because it literally lets him think slightly more clearly.
And women also have that hormonal need to get that attention. The same way that men need to release that, women need to gain that. So that biological attraction is there.
It's almost like the men have to give the women what they want by having sex with them.
But it's also about the emotional attention. This is why it's like tough to be a teenager, and that the drives that men and women have are different, and why sexual differences actually matter, and we should talk about them. But just like you think that it's a drive in the boy and the teenage year to want to release his sexual urges, that same level of drive is in most teenage girls, hashtag not all, most teenage girls to want that attention from boys, for boys to like them, for boys to want to spend time with them, for boys to want to give them attention, the boys to make them feel pretty. It's the sex drive is not as high, but the emotional drive. Imagine your sex was feelings. Imagine your hard-on was emotions. That's what it is for women.
What do you think my hard-on's all about? It's totally not about emotion, guys. I'm totally kidding. All right, so tune in next time when we talk about some other crap. I don't know. We haven't come up with a topic. But yeah, let us know. What do you think? Porn, good, bad? How young can you start watching porn? How late should you start watching porn? Should you lose your virginity early, or should you just be a whore? Should we do we look more fondly on people who get naked in front of a webcam for money, for free, or prostitutes who make you pay money for it? I don't know. It's a really weird world, and I hope we all get to the bottom of it together. All right, guys. Have a good night.